Hello friends, this is issues video and let's start. So these are the historical issues that I have gathered from the last 1 year and we'll see them one by one. So first issue is Prohibition of Advertisement and Regulation of Trade and Commerce Production, Supply and Distribution Act 2003 Amendment. You don't have to remember the name. So the issue was that tobacco consumption, it causes 50% cancer cases uh, in India, which are and 50% are related to tobacco consumption. So the government said that direct advertisement should be banned for that. So the companies are using proxy advertisement, means they are advertising for some other product, but they are using the name of the tobacco product. So the government wants to ban that also. Then display of tobacco products at the point of sale. This is the most important thing due to which the tobacco consumption has increased. So this has to also be banned. And government started the prohibition of sale to below 21 years of age, and also it prohibited open sale of BD and cigarette. But these two prohibitions are not actually able to be implemented, and still the whole both things means sale to below 21 years age people and open sale both continue. Also, selling of gutka is banned in UP, but it is still have sold heavily. So these are some of the issues of tobacco. Okay, then coming on the next issue. So this issue was in use for employment of manual scavengers, and you know that manual scavengers are those people who scavenge dry lattering on their heads. So this is a very bad practice. So it was banned in 1993, and also the people who work in this sanitary department, they are known as Safai Karmchari in Hindi. So they face following problems. I will tell you the problems one by one. So they face health issues, sanitation issues, then they face social stigma because of them working in sanitation area. Then untouchability and employment of lower castes. Uh, Mostly the people are who work as Safai Karmchari, they are from lower castes, and they face untouchability also. Then they lack the protective gears and equipments. They work barehanded without any mask, and lack of insurance, and many deaths occur due to diseases as well as accidents. So these are some of the problems, and you can find their solutions yourself. Okay, then coming on the next issue, this was in news because uh, we know that a lot of migration is happening right now to Europe from Africa and Middle East. So why it is happening? Because why it happened in Africa? Because Africa is facing surgical division during colonialism. So you know that the whole Africa was under colonial occupation during 19th century. Most of the countries got independent in 20th century, but the boundaries that the European powers have demarcated in the whole of Africa, so this is say Africa, so all the boundaries are very according to the occupation of the colonial countries. So they have divided the major tribes in Africa, and that is leading to a lot of wars. The say for example, the tribe area is like this. So here it is in majority, but here it is in minority. So there should have been a cultural state or cultural country, but right now the tribes has been divided into two countries. So that is leading to a lot of wars. Also, the next issue is support to autocratic rulers from these European nations again, so that they can exploit the natural resources of Africa. So this phenomenon is known as neo-mercantilism. Just remember this word. So these two features are the main causes due to which there is Africa is so unstable. And then support to good terrorists. This is one of the issues, like US supported Taliban in 1980s to counter Russia. So that strategy failed, and right now the Taliban and Al Qaeda are its biggest enemies. Also military interventions for resources or for promoting democracy. So these things have destabilized Middle East and Africa. Okay, the next issue is issue of section 309. So, according to Section 309, one Supreme Court ruling came in which Supreme Court has decriminalized suicide. So, according to Section 309 of IPC, Indian Penal Code, whoever attempted suicide, he was to face 1 year jail term or fine or what or something between that. So right now the Supreme Court has decriminalized suicide. So this is a major recommendation of Supreme Court, a very major decision this year. This can come. Also, just attach it with Santhara or Salekhana issue of Jain community. So Jain community has asked for right to die under this particular cultural act of theirs. Also, there is a concept that all the fundamental rights have both positive and negative connotations. So say for example, if you have right to speech, which is a positive connotation, so you also have a right to remain silent, which is a negative connotation. Similarly, if you have a right to live, so you also should have right to die according to this particular judgment of Supreme Court. So this is a major advancement. You should read it with suicide, decriminalizing suicide. That is section 309 with Santara. Okay, then next issue is again of female foeticides, I think. So you know that foety means foetus means the thing which is not formed yet. Means the child is in the belly of mother, and still the child gets killed. So the acts which are prohibiting that are these two. So I will tell you one by one. What is first is Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, MTP Act. So this particular act allows the mothers to terminate the pregnancy. And why this is allowed? Because this is a public health priority. Instead of means if we have a choice to save the mother and the child, we should generally save the mother because she can again produce child, but we should not jeopardize the health of the mother. So that's why this MTP Act was passed, so that in such a means this act enables and aims to improve the maternal health scenario by preventing large number of unsafe abortion and consequent high incidence of maternal mortality and morbidity. So this wants to ensure that the mothers are safe. So it legalizes abortion services and promotes access to safe abortion services to women. Okay, so this is one of the aspects of abortion. So this is legal because it is related to health of the mother. Then the second aspect is PCPNDT Act. So I will read it for you. So Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act 1994 is an act of the Parliament of India enacted to stop female foeticides and arrest the declining sex ratio in India. The act banned prenatal sex determination. Prenatal means before birth sex determination is banned. So you cannot determine the sex of the child, but if the mother's health is jeopardized, or if the means you have to save between mother and child, so you have to save the mother. So just remember this MTP Act and PCPNDT Act. Okay, then coming on the next issue. Yeah, this issue is that Supreme Court, it told that the private entities which are working as public entities, they should come under the purview of Article 226 of the Indian Constitution. So Article 226 is the power, means this particular article gives high courts the writ power. Do you know there are 5 types of writs: habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, quo warranto, and prohibition. So those 5 writ petitions come under Article 226, and also Article 226 gives high courts the power to defend the fundamental rights of the citizens. So Supreme Court also has the same right under Article 32, but Supreme Court can issue writs only for fundamental rights protection, and High Court can issue writs for any issue, even for the legal rights also. So that's why this has the private entities have been brought under Article 226 if the private entities are serving as public entities. So the judgment is important for like BCCI, Indian Olympic Corporation, in IOA, I think Indian Olympic Association, Boxing Federation, Hockey Association. So these particular associations are not state bodies; they are actually societies, which would means promoted by the private entities, but later they became public entities. Right now, BCCI serves for Indian national team, so that's why BCCI is doing a public entity job. So that's why it should come under Article 226 of Indian Constitution. Okay, this is the important issue. Remember it. Okay, the next issue is different between ICJ and ICC. So ICJ is International Court of Justice, and it is a part of United Nations. United Nations has six parts. I just keep on asking again and again, what are the six parts? The first part is Security Council, then General Assembly, then Trusteeship Council, then your International Court of Justice, then your Economic and Social Council, and one more. So these are the parts of the United Nations. I just keep asking it because this the parts of the United Nations and its agencies come every year in prelims examination. So you should know that their names and their functions also. Last year they asked about WTO, and before that they asked about mm, World Bank and IMF. So they also ask word bodies in your paper 2 of mains examination. So you should have a background information about these word bodies. Let me tell you what is International Court of Justice. So this is a part of United Nations. So all the United Nations General Assembly members are the members of International Court of Justice also. Also, this particular court is a civil court. It does not take criminal cases. Criminal cases should be solved by the national laws, but if a civil dispute is there between two nations, so that could be taken to International Court of Justice. And United Nations Security Council is bound to implement its verdict. Why? Because Security Council enforces its decisions. So this is the main point. And this International Criminal Court, this is not a part of the United Nations, and also India is not a signatory to ICC, that is International Criminal Court. So the ICC's decisions are not binding in nature because they don't have any force of United Nations Security Council behind them. Okay, then this is the important issue, that politics of exclusion. This was in news because the Rajasthan government has made mandatory that there should be some educational qualification uh, for candidature of panchayat election. So this is politics of exclusion, that you are excluding some people in order to promote some social cause. Even if you are promoting some social cause, at least first apply that to MP and MLAs. So mostly if you see that in state legislature and central legislature, the reforms are slower. Right now we don't have women reservation, but in panchayats we have 33% women reservation. Similarly, right now they are doing this mandatory compulsion. Say some states have two child policy, that those people who have two childs can only participate in elections. Then compulsion of household toilets, minimum educational qualification, compulsory voting norms were also floated in Gujarat. So these are some of the concepts related to our democracy and its electoral functioning. Also, when we have adult suffrage and our leaders, they means our national leaders, national freedom movement leaders, they never thought that any of our citizens are means they should be restricted. Everyone should be allowed to take, participate or contest in elections. So this politics of exclusion is actually very bad, because you just cannot take the rights of the people. This is like taking their rights just because they are not educated. So that does not mean that they won't be able to formulate policies or won't be able to understand the local qualifications or whatever problems they have. Okay, then coming on the next issue, that is section 498A of IPC. This is related to dowry. Just remember this particular section. And I have already told you about section 309, which is related to suicide. So the section 498A of IPC is related to dowry, and it is a cognizable and non-bailable offense. So if a female registers a case in this particular section, so the police immediately puts the accused person behind the bars because it is cognizable. If anyone just tells that this crime has happened, so police will just say that okay, means they will assume that the crime has happened. And non-bailable means you get bail but with very difficulty, means you have to go to magistrate or court in order to get the bail. So the issue was that its misuse is happening and increasing a lot in the society. So how to tackle that? So you can think the solutions yourself. Then the next issue was quantitative easing of United States. So what happens, like quantitative easing occurs when the interest rates are already 0%. So only then after that quantitative easing is used in order to promote the economic development. But when quantitative easing happens, so a lot of money is generated in the economy. Say for example, US has done it. So a lot of money is put in the market. Now since the interest rates are 0 in US but interest rates are 7 or 8% in India, so that money comes to India as investments. But that is very hot money. If US economy grows again, so that money will be pulled back. So this hot money is very volatile, so it imbalances the domestic economy also. And also it leads to currency wars, because when the US will put a lot of dollars, so that means that your own currency will appreciate, so that will reduce your exports. So the quantitative easing, I will tell you the definition, exact definition. So it is in an unconventional form of monetary policy where a central bank creates new money electronically to buy financial assets like government bonds. Okay, so this process aims to directly increase private sector spending in the economy and return inflation to the target. So this is quantitative easing. Okay, then coming, okay, that's it. And all these issues are very important. And as you can see from this video that you have seen a lot of issues which came in whole of the year, and you may not be even recognizing or remembering many of the issues. So these issues are important which can come in the examination. So just watch these issues videos. They are very, very important for your mains. And that's it. Thank you friends, and see you next video.